Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. I hope you can hear me because if you can, it means I've set everything up right. So if you can, please just let me know in chat before I go too far. And just to let you know, unfortunately, I'm also streaming to both Twitch and to YouTube. And for whatever reason, the chat program is just not showing me both chats, so I'm kind of skipping between the two windows to check audio and to check your comments and things. But I hear that the audio is good, so that means we can carry on with today's live stream. Now, this is a special event. This is something that I'm doing. I'm testing the waters, if you will. Also, I miss all of your commentary that keeps coming through. And so I thought, well, let me spend some time with you. And I thought, well, what can we do? What can we do? What can we do? And it just so happened that I was at UK Games Expo a couple of weeks ago here in the UK. And I bumped into a gentleman by the name of Rene, who is part of HomeGuard Games. And HomeGuard, if you are familiar with the Lonewolf series, is the capital city in the HomeWolf book series. And we got to chatting and talking about stuff. And there's been a reissue of the original Lonewolf solo adventure books. Although in those days they were called Choose Your Own Adventures. So we're talking about this little poppet here. Very, very old book that has traveled with me all around the world. And so I thought, well, why not? We've done Fabled Lands, so let's do this. Especially considering that the author, Joe Dever, not only has a role-playing game, which unfortunately you can't get anymore. It was released by Cubicle 7, but they don't have the license for it anymore. But he wrote these books based on his role-playing experience. So there's a lot kind of going on in there. Now, when I first got these books, I must have been about 12 or 13, and I didn't know how they worked. I really didn't. It was something totally new and totally different. The idea that you could read and skip around and the page numbers didn't mean anything, but the entry numbers were what you were looking at. It was really interesting, really intriguing. And eventually a friend of mine showed me how they work, and I was hooked. And to prove that point, if I just roll back here, you'll see just here all of the books that were ever released, at least up until book number 25. I didn't get the last two, I think, or last 3 or 4 or 5. Maybe I kind of lost track. But those I've brought all over the world with me because I've had so much fun whilst playing in them. Now, unlike Fabled Lands, which I have done plays through on this channel before, this is not so much freeform, go and find your own adventure. This is, each book is an adventure with a final clause, a final chapter, if you like, which will get you out of the book and which would then lead you into book 2 or 3 or 4. So they are all chain linked, and it takes 20 books for Lonewolf to eventually achieve his goal. Now, you are playing the character Lonewolf throughout the book, and so I have played all of the books up to 20. I have never actually successfully played book 2. I have never finished book 2. It's been a bit of a bugbear of mine for decades, folks, for absolute decades. So I thought, let's start with Flight from the Dark. And if this proves a popular kind of thing, we can do it next week because, well, we're all here next week. So I've put together a character sheet, and hopefully you can see what's going on here. We've got the character's name at the bottom of the screen. So that's he's a novice. It's book 1. We're starting as a novice. His name's Lonewolf. Now, the way that the Lonewolf series works, for those of you that don't know, is the Kai are like these warrior monks that are trained in certain powers, kind of like fantasy Jedi, really. And so they have these things called Kai disciplines. Now, there's a couple Kai disciplines that you can choose from. I've gone ahead and chosen one which I have never used before. I generally didn't take it before. I've chosen the Kai discipline of Mind Blast, which is kind of like a mind attack, a psychic attack. Normally, I would choose something like camouflage or hunting or healing, for example. But I thought, no, let's go with Mind Blast. The way that the combat works, it's very straightforward. And I will be using a combat generator mechanic-y thing which was created by a gentleman by the name of Mike Schulenberg. I don't know where Mike is from, but this I found on the internet. So it's free to use, free to download. And so yes, it's available, and I'm going to be using that because it allows me to hit a button here, and hopefully you will see things updating in the bottom of the screen down there. And I'll explain what those mean in a moment. So the way that combat works is you have your combat skill, and in this case, our Lone Wolf, I rolled for it before we started, and Lone Wolf has a combat skill of, technically it's 18. That's what I rolled. I rolled an 8 because you add 10 at the beginning. But Mind Blast gives him a +2 against most enemies. And if I remember, I think it doesn't work on undead. They don't have minds. So we'll get that. Now, I'm not going to explain the premise because that's what the book does. Then you have your endurance points. And of course, that's your health. So as your endurance points go down, so you suffer. You have to have a meal. Every now and again, the book will say, oh, you've been traveling for a while, have a meal. And if you don't have a meal, you lose 3 endurance points. Now, you get endurance points back if you drink potions, or if you have the healing Kai discipline, you can get them back as well. So there are a couple options that that one has. And so combat is you take your combat skill, you take the opponent's combat skill, and you deduct the opponent's combat skill from yours. That will give you a number. Now, at the back of each of the books was this dreaded lookup table. And what you would do is you would check the number that you had determined, and then you roll a d10. And you would compare your roll with the number, and that would give you the outcome of how much damage you take and how much damage your opponent takes. All very, very simple. Now, this Mark software that he created does this all for us. So you can see, hopefully you can see, if I need to make it bigger, let me know. You can see at the bottom there that I rolled a 7. So with the numbers that I've put in there, the enemy loses 18 and we lose 0. Okay, so we're going to be using that rather than trying to look up this reference table, which takes forever. Now, the whole story takes place in the world of Magnamund, and in this particular case, in this area, here you can see we're in Sumerland, which is where the story takes place. You can see the Kai Monastery there on the left-hand side, just above the river Unorum, and the city of Tyso to the right of that, and then right at the bottom there is Homeguard, which is where the Homeguard Games and Homeguard Press, the producers of the books, come from. They derive their name from. Right in the north, there's Toran and Anscaven as well, and so that's the area for book 1 that we will be playing in, and so hopefully we'll survive. Now, I also used a little generator to create that little portrait of our potential young Lone Wolf character. And so you are going to make the decisions. You're going to make the decisions for me as we run through this. I'm just going to be reading them out. And so what that means is you're going to have to be pretty quick, folks. Sometimes there are no decisions to be made, but sometimes there might be decisions like this. If you decide to fight them, turn to 138. If you decide to run deeper into the forest without delay, turn to 281. What I need you to do is to write the number that I should turn to. So if I say turn to 138 or turn to 281, you write down the number that you think I should go to. So it's straight up. So there's no kind of, you don't have to write out sentences, oh, I would go to the left, I'd go to the forest. You just write out the number that the options are, and hopefully you will be able to remember them. And so without any further delay, I think we should jump into it, because we're going to do these for an hour at a time. I think an hour is quite digestible, and we can take it from there. Okay, I see a couple of folks have already started getting into the spirit of things, which is fantastic. Just write down the number. Eric von Roxelot did it perfectly. 138 was his choice. What a pity that, well, we'll get there. We'll get there. Let's see what's happening on Twitch. As I said, Twitch, I'm just bouncing between the two streams. A little bigger would be nice. Okay, well, due to the power of live shows, I can make this bigger. And I'll play with the layout for next week. This was just the first one. So I made it a little bit bigger there for you. Right. Hopefully this is going to give us some info as we go. So we are doing Joe Dever, Flight from the Dark. The story so far. In the northern land of Summerland, it has been the custom for many centuries to send the children of the warrior lords to the monastery of the Kai. There they are taught the skills and disciplines of their noble fathers. The Kai monks are masters of their art, and the children in their charge love and respect them in spite of the hardships of their training. For one day, when they have finally learnt the secret skills of the Kai, they will return to their homes, equipped in mind and body, to defend themselves against the constant threat of war from the dark lords of the West. In olden times, during the age of the Black Moon, the Dark Lords waged war on Summerland. The conflict was a long and bitter trial of strength that ended in victory for the Summerlanding at the Great Battle of Markingorge. King Ulnar and the allies of Duranor broke the Dark Lord armies at the pass of Moitura and forced them back into the bottomless abyss of the Markingorge. Vashna, mightiest of the Dark Lords, was slain upon the sword of King Ulnar called the Suma Sword, the Sword of the Sun. Since that age, the Dark Lords have vowed vengeance upon Sumerland and the house of Ulnar. Now it is in the morning of the feast of Femran, where all of the Kai Lords are present at the monastery for the celebrations. Suddenly a great black cloud comes out of the western skies. So many are the numbers of the black-winged beasts that fill the sky that the sun is completely hidden. The Dark Lords, ancient enemy of the Summerlanding, are attacking. War has begun. On this fateful morning, you, Silent Wolf, the name given to you by the Kai, have been sent to collect firewood in the forest as a punishment for your inattention in class. You are preparing to return. As you are preparing to return, you see to your horror a vast cloud of black leathery creatures swoop down and engulf the monastery. Dropping the wood, you race to the battle that has already begun. But in the unnatural dark, you stumble and strike your head on a low tree branch. As you lose consciousness, the last thing that you see in the poor light are the walls of the monastery crashing to the ground. Many hours pass before you awake. With tears in your eyes, you now survey the scene of destruction. Raising your face to the clear sky, you swear vengeance on the Dark Lords for the massacre of the Kai warriors, and with a sudden flash of realization, you know what you must do. You must set off on a perilous journey to the capital city to warn the king of the terrible threat that now faces his people. For you are now the last of the Kai. You are now the Lone Wolf. And that's how our story begins, quite dramatically, I should say. Then we step over to the next section. You are dressed in the green tunic and cloak of a Kai initiate. You have little with you to arm yourself for survival. All you possess is an axe, note under weapons on your action chart, and a backpack containing 1 meal. Hanging from your waist is a leather pouch containing gold crowns. To find out how many, pick a number from the random number table. This number equals the number of gold crowns you possess at the start of the adventure. All right, let's have a roll. And we rolled an 8. We have 8 coins. Oh, we're rich, I suppose. And I'm just going to log the axe here. I know it should go into a separate sheet, but I'm going to put it there anyway. You discover amongst the smoking ruins of the monastery a map of Summerland, which you can note in your special items. We'll just remember that we have the map, showing the capital city of Holmgard and the land of Duranor, far to the east. You place the map inside your tunic for safety. And just for the memory of it, there is the map. You also find one of the following. Roll a random number. A 4. Oh, well, that's quite nice. we find a chainmail waistcoat, or waistcoat. I'm going to add that here as well, although this is a special item, chainmail. We will put it here, and this adds 4 endurance points. So I'm just going to make a note here, plus 4 EP. And so our endurance points goes to a rather nice 31. Not too bad. That's a pretty good start, as a matter of fact. So we have an axe, and we have some chainmail. Wonderful. All right, and then it's carrying. There's some carrying rules. I'm going to skip over those. Then there's the whole combat. All right, here is some Kai wisdom for you from one of the great Grand Masters, who are now subsequently dead. So I would imagine that this is an ethereal voice coming to you as, non-copyrightable ghostly apparition. Your mission will be one of great danger. For the Dark Lords and their servants are a cruel and fierce enemy who give and expect no mercy. Use the map at the front of the book, in your pocket, to help you steer a correct course for the capital. Make notes as you progress through the story, for they will be of great help in future adventures. Many things that you will find will aid you during the adventure. Some special items will be of use in future Lone Wolf adventures, and others may be red herrings of no real use at all. So be selective in what you decide to keep. There are many routes to the king, but only one involves a minimum of danger. With a wise choice of Kai disciplines and a great deal of courage, anyone should be able to complete the mission, no matter how weak their initial combat skill or endurance point score might be. The honor and memory of the Kai Lords go with you on your perilous journey. Good luck. Ha! 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 That's what I have to say. Ha! Right. So, just checking chat to make sure that everyone is still happy. I see that YouTube wants to buy drugs. Potions of Lamspur are definitely something that we want to buy. Those are healing potions. And let's see. Not sure what Sammy Critfiggle on Twitch is saying about roll to avoid participating in merciless mercantilistic systems. All right. Yes, sure. Okay. Well, there we go. And right. Let's see where we end up. Chapter 1, or Entry 1, I should say. Get ready, folks. You've got a 3-way decision coming up. Oh, no. You've got a 2-way decision coming up. You must make haste for your sense... Let me try that again. You must make haste, for you sense it is not safe to linger by the smoking ruins of the monastery. The black-winged beasts could return at any moment. You must set out for the Sumerland capital of Holmgard and tell the king the terrible news of the massacre, that the whole elite of Kai warriors, save yourself, have been slaughtered. Without the Kai Lords to lead her armies, Sumerland will be at the mercy of their ancient enemy, the Dark Lords. Fighting back tears, you bid farewell to your dead kinsmen. Silently, you promise that their deaths will be avenged. You turn away from the ruins and carefully descend the steep track. At the foot of the hill, the path splits into 2 directions, both leading into a large wood. If you wish to take the right path into the wood, turn to 85. If you wish to follow the track to the left, turn to 275. And if you wish to use your Kai discipline of Sixth Sense, well, we don't have that, so we don't have a choice. So 85, we go to the right. 275, we go to the left. And here's that map again to remind you of where we are. So just write down that number, if you will, as to where you think we should go. This is a big forest, and I hit my head last time. Well, let's see. We've got lots of 275s coming through on YouTube, and Twitch is also saying 275. So we're going to go with 275 as our entry. I'm not going to take too long in these polls, folks, so we don't slow down too much. 275. My favorite was trying to keep your finger in the old place in case you misread the number and then you lost the entry. 275. But I suppose we've got it written in chat this time around, so that's quite nice. You have followed this twisting track for about 20 minutes when you hear the beating of wings high above the trees. Looking up, you see a large crane approaching from the north, its huge black wings creating a gigantic shadow on the trees below. On its back are two creatures armed with long spears. They are mountain gyaks, small, ugly creatures full of hatred and malice. Many centuries ago, their ancestors were used by the Dark Lords to build the infernal city of Helgedad, which lies in the volcanic wastelands beyond the Dernkog mountain range. The construction of the city was long and torturous, and only the strongest of the creatures survived the heat and poisonous atmosphere of Helgedad. Quickly you dive for the shelter of a large fern tree as the crane passes overhead. With heart pounding, you pray that your quick reactions have saved you from being spotted. Roll a random number. 7. If the number was 5 to 9, turn to 74. 74. Oh, please don't let them see me, please. The crane and its riders land on the track barely 10 feet from where you are hidden. The gyaks leap from the scaly backs of the crane and move towards you, their spears raised to strike. You have been seen. If you decide to fight them, turn to 138. If you decide to run deeper into the forest without delay, turn to 281. Oh, desperate moment, desperate, desperate moment. Give me a number. 138, we fight. 281, we run. We can't fight gyaks and a crane. It'll consume us in one. Oh, we've got some brave souls wanting to fight. It's split on YouTube at the moment. Twitch, can you sway the balance? Oh, we've got 2 votes on Twitch for running away. Brave Sir Lonewolf Robin. Yep. Lots of people. We're going to go 281. 281. We're just young. We're not Kai yet. We're only an acolyte. I'm a novice. I'm not even trained. I don't know what to do. As you race through the trees, you can hear the horrible cackle of the gyaks close behind you. Soon the trees start to thin out, and directly ahead of you, you can see a rocky hillside. If you break cover and climb up the hill, turn to 311. If you change direction and continue your run through the forest, turn to 77. Do we climb the hill? Oh, it's quite the hill. Or perhaps we should continue in the forest. I suppose the crane won't be able to get to us in the forest. They're the flying creatures after all. But perhaps climbing up give us an advantage over those gyaks. Oh, let's see. 77 certainly seems very popular with the folks on YouTube. Definitely popular on Twitch. It's unanimous on Twitch, as a matter of fact. 77 it is. Lose them through the trees. 77. The mountain gyaks are unaccustomed to pursuing their prey through forests, and you soon outdistance them, until finally the sound of their grunts and curses disappears completely. When you are satisfied that they have given up the chase, you stop for a few minutes to catch your breath and to check your equipment. With the memory of your ruined monastery still blazing in your mind, you gather up your meager belongings and push on. Turn to 19. Just ahead through the tall trees, you can see clumps of dark red gallowbrush, a thorny briar with sharp crimson barbs. The common name for this forest weed is sleep-tooth, for the thorns are very sharp and can make you feel weak and sleepy if they scratch your skin. You can avoid the sleep-tooth by turning to 272. You can try and push through the briars deeper into the forest by turning to 119. And if we had the Kai discipline of tracking, we could go somewhere else, but we can't. So it's either we avoid them, 272, or we try and push through the sleepy stuff on 119. Teresa Tatum, I thank you for that donation. Really appreciate that. 272, I don't think anyone is wanting to risk this. I think we're all playing to win here. We're playing to survive, except for Ian Cotter, who wants us to push through. Oh, as well as Owen. Oh, my goodness. No, it's 272 on YouTube. Twitch, unanimous again, 272. I suspect there's collaboration on Twitch going on. But that's wonderful. Right, don't get caught sleeping on the job, says John Smith. Well, I completely agree with you. 272. Let's see if we can survive this little ordeal here, folks. 272. Where are we? Right. Make sure it's 272. Yep. Keeping a watchful eye on the sky above, you move quickly along the track. You recall that this route leads to Fogwood, a small cluster of huts that have been used by a family of charcoal burners for nearly 50 years. After 20 minutes, you reach the edge of the clearing where the huts are grouped in a small circle. There is no sign of the usual mist of wood smoke which gives Fogwood its apt name, and the huts are unusually quiet. If you have a Kai discipline of tracking, we don't have that. Nope, nope, nope. If you do not possess this skill, you prepare your weapon, our axe, and stealthily approach the huts. 305. Through the open doorway of the first hut, you can see the body of a charcoal burner lying face down on the rough stone floor. He has been murdered, stabbed in the back by a spear. All his furniture and belongings have been smashed and broken, and not one piece remains intact. This is the evil handiwork of Giacs, without any doubt, for they delight in the destruction of all things. A quick check of the other huts reveals a similar story of murder and wreckage. In the last hut that you search, you discover a Giac spear, proof of your suspicions. You may keep this weapon if you wish. Well, we can carry 2 weapons. I don't see why we wouldn't. So we're going to add spear to the list. Spear. Thank you very much. More determined than ever now to succeed in your mission, you continue along the track. 105. In the distance, perched on the branch of an old oak tree, is a jet black raven. If you have the Kai discipline of animal kinship, which we do not have, go there, but we're not. We're going to go to 335. Sorry, folks. I may have chosen the wrong skill here. 335. Where are we? Bum, bum, bum. 335. And here we go. As you approach, the blackbird flies off above the trees and soon disappears from view. You search the tree on which it was perched, but find nothing unusual. Rather than waste any more precious time, you continue along the track. I'm getting better at flipping through the pages. Illustration over leaf. Beautiful illustrations in this book. I've always loved the illustrations. After a few minutes walking, you see a stranger, clad in red, in the center of the track ahead. He has his back towards you, and his head is covered by the hood of his robes. Perched on his outstretched arm is the black raven that you saw earlier. If you wish to call the stranger, turn to 342. 342. If you wish to approach the stranger cautiously, 309. If you'd rather draw your weapon and attack, 283. So, 342, we call the stranger. 309, we approach the stranger cautiously. Or 283, we attack. I mean, it is suspicious that there's this person in red in the middle of an attack zone that hasn't been attacked by Giacs. They're not Kai. Kai wear green cloaks. Well, usually, unless he lost his cloak, in which case maybe he borrowed a red cloak from someone who was nearby in the middle of an attack. We'll check what chat is saying. Most of chat is going 309. We approach cautiously. 309. We approach cautiously. Twitch is doing. Oh, no. They do not have a little basket with them. 309 is what Twitch is saying. 309 is pretty much what everyone's saying. So we're going to approach the stranger cautiously. I mean, we can't just attack outright, right? We need to know who they are. You have taken less than 10 paces when the raven squawks a warning to the stranger. Turning to face you, the robed creature ushers a piercing shriek that freezes your blood and grips your stomach with fear and panic. It is a Vordak, a lieutenant of the Dark Lords and one of the undead. Within seconds, a host of Gieks appear at its side and attack you. You fight bravely, but you are greatly outnumbered. The last thing you remember is the icy grasp of the Vordak's skeletal fingers as they close around your throat. Your life and your mission end here. The Kai are dead. All hail the Dark Lords. Well, there we go. That was fun. So now we get to start again, folks. So lesson learned, okay? Lesson learned. Nearly as long as a Fabled Lands playthrough, absolutely. These books are absolutely deadly. So what we're going to do, with your permission, I mean, we can either stop the stream now and say, well, that's the end of book 2. Or we can start again. We've got half an hour. So we died in less than 20 minutes, which is great. We can just erase what we've got and we can try again with your permission, if that's something that you want to do. This time choose 5 skills. Well, we can't. We're only allowed to choose 1. So we're going to need more bookmarks. I agree. Absolutely. Let's go through the skills. All right. So firstly, we're going to erase these numbers because we're going to start again. What a pity. That chainmail, I was convinced the chainmail was going to help us. We're going to get rid of the spear. We're going to get rid of the gold. All of those nice numbers rolled. Watch, we're going to get something less. Didn't that book write some nonsense about it doesn't matter what your skill is, you're probably going to survive unless you're an idiot, which apparently we were. So that lone wolf is dead. Right, we're going to create the combat skill first. So I'm going to randomly roll here. It's 10 plus 0. Combat skill of 10 flat, as opposed to 18 of the last lone wolf. And endurance points, 28, same as last time. Slightly higher than last time, it was 27, I think. Okay, great. So there we are. Now, chat. John Smith, we really appreciate that donation. Thank you very much. Let's go through the Kai disciplines. We have camouflage. This discipline enables a Kai Lord to blend in with his surroundings. In the countryside, he can hide undetected among trees and rocks and pass close to an enemy without being seen. In a town or city, it enables him to look and sound like a native of that area and can help him to find shelter or a safe hiding place. That's camouflage. Hunting. This skill enables... This skill ensures that a Kai Lord will never starve in the wild. He will always be able to hunt for food for himself, except in areas of wasteland and desert. The skill also enables a Kai Lord to be able to move stealthily when stalking his prey. That's hunting. Sixth sense. This skill may warn a Kai Lord of imminent danger. It may also reveal the true purpose of a stranger or strange object encountered in your adventure. Tracking. This skill enables a Kai Lord to make the correct choice of a path in the wild, to discover the location of a person or object in a town or city, and to read the secrets of footprints or tracks. Healing. This discipline can be used to restore endurance points lost in combat. If you possess this skill, you may restore 1 endurance point to your total for every numbered section of the book you pass through in which you are not involved in combat. You can never go above your maximum value, of course. Weapon skill. Upon entering the Kai Monastery, each initiate is taught to master one type of weapon. If weapon skill is to be one of your Kai disciplines, pick a number in the usual way from the random number table on the last page of the book, and then find the corresponding weapon from the list below. With our combat skill of 10, I don't think that our character is much of a weapon skill user. Mind Shield. The Dark Lords and many of the evil creatures in their command have the ability to attack you using their mind force. The Kai discipline of Mind Shield prevents you from losing any endurance points when subjected to this form of attack. Mind Blast. This enables the Kai Lord to attack an enemy using the force of his mind. It can be used at the same time as normal combat and adds 2 extra points to your combat skill. Not all creatures, however, encountered on this adventure will be harmed by Mind Blast. You will be told if a creature is immune. Animal Kinship. This enables a Kai Lord to communicate with some animals and to be able to guess the intention of others. Or Mind Over Matter. Mastery of this discipline enables a Kai Lord to move small objects with the powers of his concentration. So, you now need to decide which one would you take. Would you take Camouflage, Hunting, Sixth Sense, Tracking, Healing, Weapon Skill, Mind Shield, Mind Blast, Animal Kinship, or Mind Over Matter? What would you take, dear and wonderful viewers? What would you take? And whilst you do that, I will open up this. Shield. Mind Shield. I've got 1 vote for Mind Shield so far. Sixth Sense. Mind Shield or Sixth Sense? Let's see what... we've got 2 votes on Twitch for Camouflage. And 1 for Sixth Sense. 2 for Camouflage, 1 for Sixth Sense. Lots of Sixth Sense coming through on YouTube, although we've got some Camouflage still there. No matter the system, Animal Kinship. So far it's Camouflage or Sixth Sense. Camouflage or Sixth Sense. Let's see if Twitch is going to break the tie. 2 on 6, 2 on Camouflage. No help there. Camouflage, Sixth Sense, Healing, says Jack, hedging his bets across the board there. Camouflage or Sixth Sense. Sixth Sense. They called him Camouflage. All right. Next one that comes through is what it's going to be. If it's a Camouflage or a Sixth Sense, it's going to break the tie. And while it's doing that, I'm just going to open up this. Camouflage. Camouflage it is. Camouflage it is. All right. I'm going to just update this quickly. Boom, boom, boom. So it is Camouflage. Camouflage. And that gives us no combat benefits. It's just the ability that it does. And I've got to update one other thing very quickly. Bear with me. This is just me being very pedantic and also may or may not have been prepping for this stream earlier in the day. I just had way too much fun, I guess. Give me just a moment. It's the same one. Okay. All right. We are ready. File and save and file save. I don't really want to save a copy, but that's fine. We'll do that anyway. I will do that. And with the power of saving, the character sheet should update with Camouflage as our new skill. Okay. And there we are. That's it. Take both and then some. You really do get to start with 5 skills. You really don't. You really don't. Oh, you do. Oh my goodness. I completely misread that section. Oh my goodness. Over the centuries, the Kai monks have mastered the skills of the warrior. These skills are known as the Kai disciplines, and they are taught to all Kai lords. You have learned only 5 of the skills listed below, the choice of which 5 skills they are is for you to make. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Threadbare ink. Told you so, and you were right. There you go. There you go. Okay, well, it's Camouflage, and then it's going to be, I'm assuming, Sixth Sense. We've got 3 more to choose. Good heavens. Good heavens. It's too hot in the studio. That's why. I can't really focus. No wonder we got wrecked. Well, I feel like he didn't ask us for any skills when we approached the stranger. It was like, do you want to walk up to them? Yeah, sure. We walk up to them, you die. So I don't think it would help us too much there. So we've got camouflage. No doubt about that. We've got Sixth Sense. Great. So we see dead people. All right. So that's fine. There's a big vote for the 2 mind skills. Mind Blast and Mind Shield. We've got a lot of mind. We've got hunting. We've got healing. Tracking. We're all over the place. I've got animal kinship appearing twice. 3 times. Okay, so I'm just going to go with this. We've got, let me just see here. Mind Shield, Mind Blast, Mind Shield, tracking. All right, so we're going to do this. We're going to go animal kinship, Mind Shield. And the last one, I think I've seen tracking coming up quite a lot of times. We're going to go with tracking. Okay. I don't really know what kind of Kai this is, so I'm going to throw this out to you while I'm saving this. What kind of character, what kind of PC has this range of skills? Camouflage, Sixth Sense, or Sick Sense, as I wrote it. I will change that now. Sixth Sense, Animal Kinship, Mind Shield, and Tracking. So the Mind Shield, the Animal Tracking, the Kinship, the Animal Kinship, the Tracking, and the Camouflage seems to indicate someone who likes to go out in the wild quite a lot. The Sixth Sense could be danger, falling things, whilst the Mind Shield, I guess, is just part of the training. That would be my guess as to how I use freeform association to come up with that answer. But there we go. So Lonewolf version 2. Level 3 neutral druid, preservationist hunter, a ranger. Yeah, psychic skulker. I like that. Bit of a druid going on. An herbalist, says Scott there. Ranger or a gloomstalker subclass. Wow, okay. A Gith ranger, jack of all trades. Well, yeah, healing really would be useful. But let's see how we do now as we go through it yet again. So we get that axe. Let's see here. We find the map and then we find a random item. This time we find a 5, which is a mace. No real luck there. So we have an axe and a mace. No grace there. We've got our 1 meal and then we've got our crowns, which we're going to roll for here. And that's an 8. So same amount of cash as before, although money doesn't seem to be really useful in this one. Right, so with that in mind, there's all the Kai wisdom. Your mission will be fraught with danger. Good luck. Don't die like the last pathetic one. Go well. All right. So now, folks, we are back on track. Fighting back tears, you bid farewell to your dead kingsmen. So long, including the one who got eaten by a red-caped person. That wasn't the real Lone Wolf. That was Silent Wolf. I'm the real Lone Wolf. Silently you promise that their deaths will be avenged. I will avenge you. You turn away from the ruins of the monastery and carefully descend the steep track. At the foot of the hill, the path splits into 2 directions, both leading into a large wood. If you would like to take the right path, turn to page 85. If you want to take the left path, turn to 276. Or if you wish to use your Kai discipline of Sixth Sense, turn to 141. And yes, so 85 right path, 275 left track, or 141, let's use the Kai discipline of Sixth Sense. We've got Sixth Sense, folks. So I feel like it's kind of a no-brainer. I think we should just make a standard rule, by the way. If we have the skill and it's like, do you want to use the skill? I feel like we should just automatically do that to save time of having to tally stuff. So let's go to 1 for 1. Just let me know if you agree with that idea or not in the comments. I'm happy to go either way. This is a stream for you. I'm having fun. Your sixth sense has warned you that some of the creatures that attacked the monastery are searching the 2 paths for any survivors of their raid. But you can avoid both tracks by making your way through the undergrowth of the wood. If you wish to head south, turn to 56. If you wish to cut your way through heavier foliage towards the northeast, head to 333. So head south, and that's to 56. The north, by the way, is at the top of the map. South is at the bottom of the map. Or cut our way through heavier foliage towards the northeast. I suppose that would be towards Anscaven, I guess. Not that far, of course, but that's the general direction. So heavier foliage northeast is 333, or south is 56. 56. 56 seems to be definitely winning on YouTube. And on Twitch, not much going on there. Let's, get that foliage. 56. 56 is winning on Twitch for sure. 56 is pretty popular on Twitch. 56 is... it's kind of split, but I'm going to go with 56. I can see more of those than I can see 333. So 56 it is. We're going south, sticking to our course of trying to get to the king as fast as we can. You hear the scream of a large winged beast above the trees. It is a Kran, a deadly servant of the Dark Lords. Quickly you hide beneath the thick fronds of a fern until the horrible shrieks have passed away. Caw, caw, caw. Caw, caw. Turn to 222. As you go on, you discover a forest path that divides at the point you join it. If you wish to take the South Fork, turn to 140. If you wish to take the East Fork, turn to 252. And if you wish to use your Kai discipline of tracking, turn to 67. Now, we have 67. Did we decide on just using the skill straight away? I think people agreed on that one. So, yes, let's do that. 67, use our Kai discipline of tracking. All right, now if I look at the path, has there been anything or anyone on it? Your Kai discipline of tracking reveals to you fresh paw prints leading off along the south path. They are the prints of a black bear, an animal renowned for its ferocity. You decide the east path would be much safer. Turn to 140. You are in a clearing where several trees have been cut down to make a rickety watchtower. Below the tower, there are 3 paths leading off in a different direction. You can take the path to the south, turn to 14. You can take the path to the east, 252. You can take the path to the southwest, 215. Or you could decide to climb the watchtower, 36. Yeah, befriending the bear sadly is not an option, folks. So, is it south? I'll bring up that map again. South is on 14. East is 252. Southwest is 215. Or, if we climb the watchtower, 36. Oh, 36 wins hands out. Loot the watchtower. We're Kai Lords. Well, we'll be one day. We can't loot, but maybe we can see something. I'm going to go with 36. I think Twitch, yep, is unanimous. 36 on Twitch. So let's go 36. And here we are. The old watchtower ladder is rotten and several rungs break as you climb. Pick a random number. 0. If the number is 4 or lower, you have fallen. Ah! Oof! And you lose 2 endurance points. I'm going to keep it as a rolling total upwards of our damage. Yep. No, that'll probably be silly. Let's just do it as 26. Okay. Turn back to 140. Which gives us the same options as before. Do we try and climb again? Or do we go south, east, or southwest? So climbing again would be 36, because it doesn't say we can't try. Southwest is 215, east is 252, and south is 14. At least we didn't die immediately. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So you tell me what you want to do. Do we try and climb again? 36 is getting voted for. We can do it. It can't be that hard to climb, surely. All right, 36 it is. Never give up, never surrender. Well, the old Watchtower ladder is still rotten, but this time we know that there are several rungs that are broken, so we can be a bit more careful this time. And apparently we can't, because that's another one. We fall and take another 2 points of endurance damage. Ow! Ow! I don't think we can climb this. Really, I don't think we can climb this. I feel like I should move on. They might have heard the screaming. Third time's the charm, says Owen. Right, south path, 14. East path, 252. Southwest path, 215. Or go back to that infernal watchtower on 36. Let's see what... well, we got 36, we got 36, we got 14. Oh, 36 again. Twitch, any help from this madness? No, 36. That watchtower cannot best us. It has! It has! All right, back to the bleeding watchtower. 36 it is. Right, last time. Here we go. This one's for the money. And... 8! Ha ha! Ha ha! If the number is 5 or higher, you do not fall. We've learned our lesson. Yay! Turn to 323. 323. 323. We will not be beaten by a broken ladder. 3, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. From the top of the tower, you can see above the trees in all directions. Far to the north, a column of jet black smoke rises high in the sky. Small orange tongues of flame flicker at its base. Your heart sinks as you realize that the port of Toran is ablaze. From the southwest, the wind carries the noise of battle. It is close, no more than 5 miles at most. On the floor of the watchtower is a large oblong box. If you wish to open the box, turn to 290. If you would prefer to descend the ladder and leave the tower, taking care to use only the good rungs, turn to 140. Do we open the box, 290? Or do we leave on 140? 290? 290? Oh, it's a... YouTube is absolutely unanimous on that one. 290 says Laura Bones. Verelda says, I bet there's a monster in there and we get eaten. Twitch is split. 290 or 140. It's 290. What's in the box? I mean, come on. The GM places it there. It's got to be something useful, right? I love the sense of humor. Inside the long box is a quarterstaff wrapped in leather. You may take this weapon if you wish. You close the box and descend the ladder to the clearing below, taking care to use only the sound rungs. Well, we're only allowed 2 weapons according to the rules, and a quarterstaff, a mace, or an axe. Mechanically, they all do the same damage, right? So I'm not going to bother to write down a quarterstaff unless you really, really want to get rid of one of the other items. But I feel like an axe, a mace, and a quarterstaff, I think the axe and the mace win out. You want to drop the quarterstaff? Says Dixon Cider, drop the mace. Staff and axe, drop the mace. A quarterstaff is better range. Oh, all right. Quarterstaff it is, by mace. Just you wait. Just you wait. If you've got a mace, you survive. Quarterstaff. Okay. Well, we've got a quarterstaff. There you go. That's the joy of this. Right. So, do we go south on 14, east on 252, or southwest on 215? So, east is south is 14, east is 252, southwest is 215. 215. And remember, we could see the city of Turan burning in the north. So that should help us get a clue as to where we are. All right. And we've got 252 slowly being beaten out by 14. Twitch is easier to count. 252 is unanimous on Twitch. 252 pretty much is the bet. So 252, we are going east. 252. Wagons east. 252. In the center of a small clearing, you see a group of humans talking excitedly and gesturing wildly with their hands. There are 2 children, 3 men, and a woman. Their belongings are wrapped in bundles which they carry slung over their shoulders. Their clothes look well made and expensive, but they are dirty and torn. If you wish to approach them and ask them who they are, turn to 155. If you wish to avoid them and continue onwards with your mission, turn to 270. 155 if you wish to approach them, or 70 if you wish to avoid them. So let's see. What would you like to do? 155 coming through on YouTube. Some people wanting to avoid them. Their problems are their own, says Scott. Twitch, almost unanimous, 155. Well, I suppose our duty is to protect the people. Let's go and talk to them. 155. As you approach, the group of people stop talking. You can see by their expressions that they recognize your green Kai cloak. Slowly, one of the men extends his hand in friendship and says, "My lord, we had heard a rumor that the Kai were destroyed. Heaven be praised that is not so. We feared all was lost." You do not tell them of the destruction of the monastery, for they are refugees from Turan and have lost everything they owned. Their only hope now is that the Kai lords will lead an army to victory. You learn that the northern port was attacked from both air and sea, and that the forces of the Dark Lords far outnumbered the king's brave garrison. You reassure them that Sumaland will not fall, and wish them luck on their journey ahead. 70. Oh my goodness. And we're nearly out of time, folks. 70. Where are we now? You have reached a small bridge. A track follows the stream towards the east. A much narrower path disappears into the thick forest towards the south. Go east, go south, or use your sixth sense discipline. Well, we have sixth sense, so let's go to number 8. Your Kai's sixth sense warns you there is a fierce battle raging in the south. Your common sense tells you that the south is also the quickest route to the capital. So there's a fierce battle going on down there, but that is our quickest route to the capital. Turn back to 70. So do we go east, 28, or south into the battle at 157? East 28 or south 157? Do we feel like we are south enough of the monastery to be heading east to Holmgard, or do we think we still need to go south and possibly into battle? 157 is to south, 28 is east. 157. We've got a quarterstaff. 157. Twitch is saying 28. Twitch is saying 28. Okay. 28 from Twitch. And lots of 157s, but 28 is prevailing mostly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, the 157s have it. The 157s have it. 157. Into battle we go. Oh no. The forest begins to thin out until finally you can make out a road through the trees ahead. The highway is full of people heading south. Many are wheeling their possessions along in handcarts. If you wish to join the refugees and perhaps learn more of what has happened in the north, turn to 30. If you would prefer to continue to move south but under the cover of the trees, turn to 167. I mean, we know what happened to the north, right? Toran was attacked and overrun. But maybe there was some Kai there? I don't know. Information is always useful. But we could use the cover of the trees to head further. Remember, we sensed danger. We sensed a battle up ahead. 167 is what YouTube is saying. Twitch is saying 167 unanimously. Into the trees we go. 167. You have been traveling for about a mile when you notice 2 legs sticking out from behind a large boulder. If you have the Kai discipline of Sixth Sense, which we do, my goodness, that is the way to go. 178. Your skill enables you to recognize the boots and leggings of a king's soldier. You can sense that the man is wounded and in need of help. If you wish to aid him, turn to 88. If you would rather leave him here, turn to 264. We didn't really do any of the healing stuff. Aid him, 88. Leave him here, 264. I mean, we could try, I guess. "264. He'll be fine," says John Smith. "Steal his boots," says Alex. "Sure. What a nice bunch of Kai Lords you're going to turn out to be. Warlords, more like it." Experiments and adventures. See if he knows things. The choices are 88 or 264. 88 or 264. Let's see if Twitch has got anything going on. 88 has come up thrice. Okay, 3 times on Twitch. And I've got nothing much happening on YouTube there, so we're going to go to Twitch 88. 88, and this will be the last entry. You cautiously peer around the rock to see a soldier lying on his back. By his side is a spear and shield. On the shield is the painting of a white Pegasus, the Prince of Sumalan's emblem. He is one of the prince's soldiers, and he is only just conscious. His uniform is badly torn, and you can see that he has a deep wound in his left arm. As you move nearer, his eyes flicker open. "Heal me, my lord," he begs. "I can barely feel my arm." If you possess and wish to use the Kai discipline of healing on this man, turn here, and if you do not, turn to 31. Well, we don't. You try to comfort the injured man as best you can, but his wounds are serious, and he is soon unconscious again. Covering him with his cape, you turn and press deeper into the forest. 264. All right, this is where we're going to end today's stream. You have not gone far when you hear the sound of battle to the west. So that's where we're going to stop today, folks. I thank you for joining me in this journey. 264. I will make a note of that. 264. That's where we left off. 264. Everything will be saved. He said, hopefully, 264. And I want to just thank you all. Now, if we want to continue with this next week, you're going to have to let me know. Leave comments down below. Share the video with those of you, with your friends, with folks like that. Get them to comment on the video. It will be available on YouTube if you're watching it on Twitch. And again, John Smith, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. And yes, I thank you all for your participation in this journey. A little bit of a rocky start, but that may have been because someone forgot to read the rules completely and just kind of went on memory. You carry one of the disciplines that you have with you over to the next book. That's probably where I got the one discipline from in the first place. Anyway, big thank you to all of you for watching. Huge thank you to my patrons for keeping the lights on. As you can see, the lights are shining brightly. And we will see you again next week, if you want to be there. So until then.